All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you for getting on with us this morning. This is our fourth daily call that we're having. So far, we've had a lot of great participation, a lot of great speakers also willing to get on here and kind of share their insights, their experiences with us. So I know you're all excited. We've got Charles Totonis with us today. Charles is a luxury mega agent here in our market center. He has a team, Charles Totonis team, with his partner Joe and also Felicia Pagliarini. So first off, Charles, tell us a little bit about your background. How long have you been in the business? And yeah, just a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. I've been licensed for the last 30 years, actually 31 years. I've been with Keller Williams for 5 years now, and I love Keller Williams. Been selling real estate full time, and I've been focusing my niche in the Lakewood Ranch area.
Awesome. So 30 years in the business, it's probably fair to say you've seen some challenges in the market before. This isn't your first rodeo.
Definitely. I've seen the shift. I've seen 9/11. It was actually when everything just stopped for about 3 weeks. Real estate just stopped, dead cold. So I've been around and I've seen this before.
Right. So, I mean, what I'd really love to hear from you today, and then we'll obviously have people in the group ask some questions or share some thoughts, but, you know, I'd love to hear from you how this compares to those hiccups in the market in the past and how you how you've dealt with those in the past, how you're dealing with it now, what strategies you put in place into your business to whether it's ramping up your activities or bulletproofing your relationships or really making sure that the transactions you're working on right now are rock solid. You know, what are you doing to make sure that you're moving your business forward and you're really servicing those clients that you have relationships with from your
Absolutely. That's a great question. One of the things that I did that I'm doing since Monday, I have 8 homes under contract. And a lot of them I'm the listing agent. So I emailed the lenders and, you know, I've asked them in an email, are we on target? Are we going to be closing within the, within the contract date? So when all of them send me their responses that we are and everything looks fine and the file looks fine, I forward that to my sellers so they can have a peace of mind, so they're not panicking. So we did have 2 loan commitment extensions that we were asked for, and of course I had to tell the sellers, and they were concerned, but I explained to them the reason. So they understood that, and they signed the loan commitment extension.
Okay. And then, so that's kind of what you're doing right now to kind of make sure that you don't have any loose ends on the deals that are pending and make sure those are moving along. What about just from a client outreach perspective? What are you doing with your database and the clients that you've got from, you know, over the years of business you've been doing?
Great. So today I'm planning on calling my database and just ask them, you know, how are you guys doing? You know, and not to come from a real estate, from a realtor, from just a friend, a human being, a past customer, ask them, you know, how's the world going? Do you need anything? And I'm here to help you.
Yeah, and I think that approach cannot be overstated enough how important it is to do that right now, because you're absolutely right. You don't want to just come at it from a position of, hey, would you like to buy or sell real estate right now, right? That's not the approach. I was actually talking to, I'm sure she won't mind if I share, but I was talking to Jessie like yesterday and her husband Mirko, and they spent the whole day bunkered down, you know, in some space where they could focus and work on their business. And they called every past client they've ever done a deal with yesterday, just to connect with them, just to say hi, just to check in, see how things are doing. And through that conversation with many of them, if not most of them, they told me that the clients brought up real estate. How's your business? What's going on with your business? How are things going? And, you know, that's probably going to lead to some business, right? Imagine if we did that throughout the year, not just when there was a pandemic or you know, a 9/11 or an explosion in the stock market. Imagine if that was just what we did as realtors, the incredible relationships we would build and the trust we would foster with these people. So I love that. I'm hearing that from a lot of top agents. So those of you on the call who are sitting at home wondering, what should I be doing because I can't go do an open house or I can't go door knock? Well, get on the phone. It's tried, true, trusted. It still works. And it's a highly effective way to build a moat around your database and work on those relationships. So I love that.
Absolutely.
So how do you think this compares to shifts you've seen in the past or things you've seen in the past? And are you doing anything differently now than you did back then? Or are you just kind of doubling down on your, what's your approach?
Well, to be honest, when this happened before, I wasn't with Keller Williams, so they really did not have any type. We didn't have this. Basically, you know, they just let you figure it out on your own. So it's huge, the difference that, because back then I was really scared. I didn't know what to do. I just stayed home, hoping that would pass. So now I am being very proactive. I am going to be making calls to my sphere. I know this is not a financial kind of crisis, even though it will have an impact. But so it's important to say, you know, where is my next deal going to come from? And let me look at it in 20 days going forward. So I need to build inventory or have stuff in the pipeline, because I'll tell you, once this is over, we're going to see the market just be very, very busy, very active. So it's important to have your inventory and your pipeline filled, because this is going to go away. It might be 30 days, 6 months, but it will go away.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. I mean, that's the conversation I've had with many people, is at some point we're going to reach a certain level of normal, right? Maybe not baseline normal where we were sitting a month ago, but we'll reach a certain point where, you know, the consumers and the public have a comfort level with business as usual again, and the floodgates are just going to open. So I think this is our time to pour into our customers, pour into our businesses with all the extra time we have on our hands. So we're positioned to be the realtors that are going to service those people's needs when they reach that comfort level again. So, you know, now's not the time to lean into, you know, how can I help you buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Yes, we're still open for business. We're still doing that 100%. I think our strategy just shifts a little bit as people's priorities shift. So I love that.
And Karen, let me share with you what has happened since Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday, I had a home that went under contract, so that's positive. And this home's been on the market for 6 months, so it went under contract. Yesterday, I had a second showing, and I was there because, you know, my sellers were concerned. So I was there, and I told her, you know, I'm going to follow the buyers and the sellers, and I'm going to disinfect and wipe down the areas. Right. So I was there. But it was positive, you know, that they came back for a second time and they were measuring. Also, what a great opportunity to get price reductions when you weren't able to get price reductions in a couple of weeks ago, where sellers were saying, no, we're not going to be reducing. We're fine. You know, we're into season, so let's wait. But right now, and I pulled numbers, in the last 3 days, there were 1,624 price reductions. In Bradenton City, there were 68 price reductions. Lakewood Ranch, 11. Sarasota, 98 price reductions. So what a great opportunity to call your sellers and say, look, you know, buyers are still buying. You know, there's new homes coming up on the market. But in order for us to be competitive with what's happening, it's time for us to really have a price reduction. So when we come out of this in 2 weeks, a month, whatever, we'll be priced more competitively.
Guys, that's awesome. I can see, you know, a lot of you on camera right now. I didn't see anybody pick up a pen and write that down. 1,624 price reductions, and oh, Terry did. And you know, and Charles just gave you a great script, right? So there's things we can be doing. There's information we can be sharing to help move our clients forward and also move our business forward, right? They go hand in hand with one another.
And also,
why don't you mention the different in mindset of a Keller Williams agent like yourself and what you went through yesterday with that showing agent, without saying names, of course.
Right. it's great because you know what, the sellers understand it, that showings have slowed down perhaps, or the buyers are going to be looking for better deals. So it's a great way to explain to your sellers. But in order to do that, you need to have numbers and maybe perhaps print it so they'll see it, and let them know 1,624 price reduction the last 3 days alone. So another conversation I had with sellers of mine is that when we received an offer, and also from another contract, repairs that the seller was, the buyers were requesting, I told my sellers, now it's not the time to play hardball with the buyers. And you might have to be a little bit more flexible and fix items which are in cosmetic nature, so that way the buyer doesn't walk away, and especially if it's an as-is contract. So it's important to let your sellers know that when we have an offer or we're asking for repairs to be made, you want to be very, very reasonable and accommodate the buyers, because if the buyers walk away, who knows when you'll get another offer. It could be 30 days, could be 60 days, could be longer.
Yeah.
So it's important to hold the deals together.
Yeah, and at Keller Williams, and I know we have some guests on the call that may not be from Keller Williams, but at Keller Williams, we are single agency for the most part, meaning we do have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients. Now, that doesn't always mean you just have to get them the most money possible, right? It means you have to act in their best interests, and like Charles said, live our values at Keller Williams. Our number one value is win-win or no deal. So, let's create a situation, as we do have buyers that are still active in the market. Be grateful for them, because many of them have pulled back, right? So if you have a buyer on a listing right now, or you have a buyer that still wants you to show them homes, express some gratitude. Be grateful for them that they're still moving forward. And like Charles said, it's our responsibility to bring the deal together and help everybody achieve their goal. So I love that. That's a great point. I want to come back to something you said a few minutes ago. You said that last time you kind of experienced this, you weren't with KW. It was a little bit earlier in your career. And you said you were scared, right? You were uncertain. You weren't sure what was going to happen. And I think a lot of our agents are in are in that place right now, right? They're scared. They're not sure what's going to happen. What I'd love for you to do, I'm sorry to put you on the spot like this, but what are 2 or 3 things that you would tell them to start doing today when this call finishes, to get focused, to move their business forward? What are the things that you wish you had been doing, right, during that last shift when you were sitting at home scared and wondering what was going to happen next?
Great question. So in reality, because what's happening, a lot of the agents are probably saying, well, no one's buying, no one is selling, so they're not doing anything. So here's the opportunity that there's really less agents out there working. So here's a great opportunity. Here's what I'm doing. I'm reaching out to my customers today. I'm sending out a bomb video to all my spheres, facts about the virus. And Joe pulled up something wonderful like the symptoms between a flu versus the virus. I'm here to help you. So send that email to your database. I am still sending out just listed sold cards, my farming. I haven't stopped that, because you know what? Someone will pick up a card, and especially if you say to them, if you put in the card, under contract just now. So people say, oh my gosh, homes are going under contract right now. So that's important, not to stop life and kind of go forward with your work. Also, there's wonderful webinars right now. Nick Baldwin is doing one tomorrow at 11 a.m. about command and social marketing, which I'm going to watch. So it's important to do things that you normally say, well, I'm busy with buyers or I'm busy with showings. We can still be busy with buyers and showings. We did an open house last Sunday, and Joe had 6 people at his open house. I had 5 customers. We're probably not going to do one this Sunday, but people are still buying and selling homes.
Right. And I just posted in the chat on the call here today's schedule from KWRI. There's a webinar starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. There's a webinar literally every 20 or 30 minutes. And these are great, just little bite-sized, quick conversations with top people, not just in our company, but in the industry, that are just sharing a little bit about, here's what we're doing, or here's how you should be handling this situation, or some of the calls are just mindset pieces to try and get your head on straight. So, you know, quick little bite-sized pieces you can plug into throughout the day when you have 20 minutes of downtime or whatever. So I just posted that schedule in the group chat. Take a look at it, see if any of those speakers, you know, sound interesting to you, or any of the topics. But you've got people like Pat Mancuso, Bob Lucido, Nick Waldner. You've got some huge, you know, Gary Gentry, Dave Jenks. That's the guy that wrote the MREA book with Gary Keller. I mean, you've got some heavy hitters that are giving up their time to do just what we're doing. Now, we started doing it on Monday, and KW started doing it on Tuesday, so I'm not going to take credit for it. But, you know, I think it's great that everybody's plugging into the technology and doing these things. But there's some great content out there for you guys. Now is the perfect time to lean into education, you know, lean into the things in your business that you've been putting on the back burner because you've been busy with business, right? So yes, absolutely. I love that. So we've got about 5 or 10 minutes left, guys. I've kind of gone through some of the questions I had, as well as some great insights Charles offered up. I'd love to open it up. I did mute everybody at the start of the call because we were getting some background noise. If you'd like to ask a question, please unmute yourself and speak up, and we'll go from there. So everybody take a second, unmute yourself, and just speak up if you have a question for Charles.
Hey, Kieran, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was selling back when Mark we had a last big shift, and I agree with Charles said, and I appreciate him saying it, is you got to keep going your business the way you're going now. So I always send out postcards back then, like I'm sending out now. I got a bunch going out today. So just keep your business going. You know, don't put your head in the sand, and keep it going, and I think everything will be fine. And like Charles said, when this ends in 60 days or whatever it's going to end, we'll be ahead of the game. And I was not with Keller Williams that time either, but I always went into the office every day, and I did what I had to do. I was out prospecting, and I think that's what we need to do now to keep it going. And now we have more technology to do it with. We have Zoom, we have BombBomb, we have stuff like that you can use, get in front of people so they can see who you're at. So
Yeah,
Charles,
I actually had an agent
you said
yesterday, had a
because
conversation with Christine.
1,000%
She's on the call. Christine and I had a conversation yesterday, and she brought up a good point. We're doing all this stuff with technology, but this is new for a lot of agents. You know, I use this stuff all the time, but a lot of our agents, this is new to them. So one of the calls next week, hopefully earlier in the week, I'm going to try and maybe get someone on the call, even if it's just for a few minutes, to talk about what are some inexpensive pieces of technology. Like if you need a better quality camera because you're going to be doing, you know, video conferencing with clients, or you want to do that sort of stuff, what's something inexpensive you can get? What kind of lighting should you have set up in your house so it looks a little bit better? All that sort of stuff. We'll see if we can get some tricks and tips from someone who does this every day. So that was a great suggestion from Christine. We're going to look into getting that information for you guys. Hey, Laura, could I ask you to share what we talked about yesterday afternoon? You said your team was going to be doing some things with your database to, you know, acts of service with people in your database to connect them with you know, other folks that they may, you know, get some value from right now.
So what we talked about yesterday in our team meeting that we are putting in place right now, there's 2 things. One of them is a data care video. So we're using the BombBomb app, and we're touching our entire database. Each person is getting a personalized BombBomb video, just checking in. How are you doing? What can we offer to help you with at this time? Here's what's going on in the market right now. We hope you're doing well. We hope you're safe. And just kind of like educating people and letting them know that, you know, we are taking these precautions. So if there's anything they need, let us know. We're not really trying to sell them by any means at that point, more of just like a check-in. How are you doing? How is your life going? Is there anything we can help you with? Kind of acts of service. And then we're also going to be doing a weekly video where we are Zooming with either somebody in the community, or if one of our agents holds a degree in something, we're going to be offering like Zoom videos of either a story time for kids, or what can you do with your kids at home for homeschooling? What's the best way to keep them engaged? We have a teacher on our team who's going to be doing that next week, where she's going to be talking about how to keep keep kids engaged in a homeschool setting, how many hours you should spend with homeschooling. She's going to provide materials that people can download if they're at home. So we're just going to be sharing that to the different moms groups and inviting those people into those Zooms just to kind of give them that. We're going to do a workout one day on Zoom where, you know, if people want to work out with us, we'll do that. And like I said, a story time if people want to sign on and have stories read to their kids. We're trying to be creative just to kind of contribute to the community in ways that we can help without kind of selling. I mean, at this point, I don't even want my agents in the field. I'm worried about this. I'm worried for their health. I'm worried about my clients and their open houses. I'm all about the virtual open houses. I'm all about, you know, the virtual listing appointments. We're still taking listings. We're still closing our deals. We're still, you know, putting buyers under contract. We put 2 more under contract yesterday. So business is still happening, but I don't, you know, I'm genuinely worried about keeping them out in the field. So we're trying to do everything that we can virtually and really focusing on right now just building our name with these people and in the community as somebody who's contributing and giving back versus just trying to take,
Sure.
you know, their business.
No, thank you so much for sharing that. That's great. And then I had one other question for someone on the call. Joanne, you did a video yesterday to, I think it was just basically the public, but mostly, you know, targeted towards your clients and database, of course, about what you and your team are going to be doing around some virtual tours. Can you just give me a couple minutes on what you're doing there?
Sure. Well, we've done this in the past. I felt that my agents about 4 years ago always needed a break on a weekend. So we would do virtual tours and then we would upload them to YouTube and say that they were available all weekend. This time we're going to go live on location today at noon and we're going to spend 5 or 10 minutes in each home. And we've got 4 homes that we're holding open. So we're going to be also boosting those posts then before, so that we can see if we can get some more audience. I have an amazing maps coach. For any of you who don't have a maps coach, I'd say now's the time to get them. Gary's offering half off. We're going to be doing some fun things with our clients. Laura, I commend you for all the things you're doing. We're on the same page with that. My coach just did a live dance party with her database for kids and for adults. So we were sharing some fun things that we're going to do as well. So we'll see what happens today. We've weathered a lot and I know Greg's in the background there. We understand this is fluid, but let's just keep ourselves safe and keep busy. Like Charles, I really appreciate what you're saying because now's not the time to throw the quilt over our head. It may feel like that. And this is the time that true leadership shows. So let's do that with our agents and also with our clients. So I'll let you know how we do today with Jacob, Dana, and Mike live on location.
Great, thank you. So guys, before we wrap up, I just wanted to give anyone else on the call who has any questions for Charles or any of these other people. We've got a lot of top agents, mega agents, big team, rainmakers. We got a lot of people on this call that have a wealth of information to share with you guys. So if you have a question, please speak up.
I just want to commend everyone for thinking differently. My son's yelling in the background. I mean, Laura, Joanne, everybody here is just, our business is changing and we knew it was, but now it's happening like this. And so for everyone that's taking charge of it, great job. It's not going to be easy. I'm stuck at home with 2 kids. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this as well. But you know, we have to remember the videos are great and all of this. If you're scared of picking up phone calls, get uncomfortable. The time is now. If that's still too uncomfortable, there are still ways around it. Messages, emails, those all count. If we're having conversations and coming from contribution to as many people as we can, you're going to come out on the other side. We just have to remember that there's a positive in all of this. So let's just keep going.
I agree, and I'm going to challenge you guys. Carolyn said, get comfortable getting uncomfortable. Look, if it's uncomfortable for you to pick up the phone and call a bunch of people, could you email them? Could you text them? Well, yes, you can. Will that be as effective? No, it won't. So get over it. Pick up the phone and make the phone call. Get over it. Get comfortable being on video. A lot of us don't want to be on video at 8:30 in the morning when we're, not ready for our day, but get over it. This is the reality. And whether or not this had happened, using video at the level that we're all going to have to start using it was going to be something we had to do anyway. This has just moved up the timeline. But you've got to make those personal connections on the phone, video chat, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever it might be, because most of your peers are not going to do that. So you have the opportunity to differentiate yourself and stand out from the crowd and provide a personal connection with these people. And at the end of the day, that's what we do. Yes, we sell houses. Yes, we list houses, but we connect people, right? That's our job as realtors. We connect people. We connect buyers to sellers. We connect our clients to the resources they need in our community. That's the value we offer as a realtor. Yeah, we have a license and we can write a contract, but we connect people and we make those connections possible. So you really got to get comfortable doing that. That's what's going to help you move your business forward during these kind of bumps in the road that we have. So,
and Karen, if I could say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yesterday, as I mentioned, I was doing a list or a company, and the other agent from the other end, she kept making comments about how bad things are, and oh my gosh, all the theater is closing in front of her customer, and how the supermarkets are empty. And I'm not saying for us to live in denial, but we don't need to be focusing on that, especially in front of our buyers. We don't want to instill the fear. So even though we know what's happening, why not, let's say there have been, 20 new listings that came up today within this zip code. There's been 20 homes that went under contract. Let's focus on the positive instead of pushing the panic button, especially in front of the buyers and the sellers.
No, 100%. It's, it's mindset, it's attitude. Those things are very, very important. Our clients are going to be attracted to our certainty and our expertise and the fact that we are speaking with confidence about these things. So be positive, have a good attitude about the situation, have a good mindset, about the situation. If you're struggling with your mindset, that's okay. Many people are. Get on some of these calls, pick up the phone and talk to somebody you saw on the call today that's, doing things the way that you wish you were doing things. So
Kieran, that's what I was just going to say. I was going to say, you don't have to worry about all the people you need to call or want to call. If you're having troubles, call one person, your coach, a leadership member, and we can chunk it down and take it from there.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And people are home. Out of the 75 past clients that we called yesterday, we probably reached maybe 90% of them, and they all answered and they were happy to hear from us. And they were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling. Even if I made a joke of, hey, do you need a roll of toilet paper? I don't live far from you, and it was really, they were good conversations, and people are home. So call them, they're home.
Absolutely. So guys, we're just coming up on our time here. I do want to wrap up. First off, let me thank Charles so much for agreeing to do this with us today, along with all the other folks that jumped on the call and participated. These calls are only valuable because you guys get on and participate. So thank you so much. Tomorrow, we're going to have a conversation with Gary Turner. For those of you who don't know, Gary's a mega agent. He's been with us, just a couple of years now. He was with another brokerage before that. And he's also been through this in the past, like Charles has, but from a different perspective. He's also a contractor, had a construction business, built homes, that kind of thing. So the last time this all happened and we had a market shift, he was on that side of the fence. So he's going to share some insight with us around, again, a slightly different perspective. Everybody we've had on the calls this week has had a slightly different perspective to offer, which I think is great because we all get to learn more. So 8:30 tomorrow morning with Gary Turner. We'll see you all then. Thank you so much for being on the call. I'm going to post this video to Facebook like I've been doing, and to our YouTube channel. I encourage you to share it. This isn't about Keller Williams, right? It's open to anyone. They can jump on, participate, watch the calls later if you think it'll help them. So everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone.